As the left continues its push to erode the natural family, their mission has become increasingly clear. Replace the family with government. That's why we need bold conservative leaders unafraid to publicly acknowledge the crucial role that the family, as created by God, what it means to society and what it means to children. Well, yesterday, Congresswoman Mary Miller and two of her colleagues announced they are launching the Congressional Family Caucus, dedicated to defending families. With marriage-based families under attack, what actions can the Congressional Family Caucus take to fight back? Joining me to discuss this and more is Congresswoman Mary Miller, member of the House Committee on Agriculture and the House Committee on Education and the Workforce. She represents the 15th Congressional District of Illinois. Congresswoman Miller, welcome back to the program.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Before we get to the announcement of your new caucus, today is International Women's Day. Personally, I think it's more of the identity politics of the left, but the question is, how can they celebrate something they can't define?
Well, they're doing their best to obliterate a woman, and I'm excited today on the Education and Workforce Committee. We are going to pass legislation or pass something out of committee to protect our girls. On day one, Joe Biden passed executive order or signed executive orders to basically abolish the benefits of Title IX for our girls and women to participate in athletics. And, he's done everything, and the left is continuing today, we heard in the hearings, pushing transgender men in girls' athletics and also in their safe spaces. So I'm very excited that we're going to put a stop to this.
It's amazing that it requires legislation, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports
Yes.
Act, that we have to pass that to protect, as you said, Title IX, which created 50 years ago, for women to have the ability to compete in sports, get scholarships, go on and play at the collegiate level. But I mean, we're literally at a day where we can't agree on a definition of what a woman is.
I know, and how far we've come in 10 years. If we would have predicted this in 10 years ago, people would have thought we were crazy. And I tell people all the time, in light of the left, if they could, they would. And we just cannot be passive or indifferent, and we can't be motivated by fear, which is one reason I am boldly going forward with this new caucus, the Congressional Family Caucus, and the purpose is to preserve and protect the traditional family.
So let's talk about that, Mary. What do you hope to accomplish? What are some of the first steps and initiatives you're going to take?
Yes, well, first of all, we want to get everybody on board with that, and I'm very grateful for my co-chairs, Representative Diana Harshbarger from Tennessee and Representative Brian Babin from Texas, who are great advocates for conservative values, especially promoting faith and family. So I'm grateful to them. We want to get the rest of the conference to sign on. Why wouldn't they? I think one of the things we want to do is when we have legislation that is promoting the traditional family or it's going to tear down the traditional family, I want to make sure that we get that information out to everybody before they vote on bad legislation that's going to continue to tear down the traditional family.
Right. You know, when we take on, you have the Congressional Budget Office, when you have a measure that's going to impact the nation economically or financially, where it's going to increase government deficits and debt, you know, why not evaluate the impact that policy is going to have on the family, the family impact statement, to see how these policies, these initiatives that are being advanced are going to hurt that nuclear family.
Absolutely. And also even incentivizing people to live together rather than commit to each other for life like God ordained, a man and a woman committed to each other for life and to their children. And, I think about in Deuteronomy 6, when God was commanding that children be instructed to love God and to obey his commandments. He didn't give that instruction to the government. He gave it to parents.
So what's been the response thus far from some of your colleagues?
Oh, very supportive. Everybody that I've talked to wants to sign on. There's, other like your groups, and then other people we've met with that want to talk to us about issues that we can advance legislatively and messaging opportunities. And I'm really excited about all the opportunities we are going to have to stand for the traditional nuclear family.
So, what can our viewers and listeners do to be supportive? How can they pray for you and for this initiative? And what can they do to help spread the word?
Okay, well, I've said before, maybe even on your program, and you've, I'm sure, said it, is life and death are in the power of the tongue. And even today in the hearing and on the education hearing, how they use their words to tear down. And we want to communicate effectively to win people over to return to God and to his ways. It says in Psalm 18 that as for God, his ways are perfect. And every word of God proves true. So we want to draw people back to him and his ways.
Well, we will be praying for that as you launch this initiative. We're proud of you, grateful for the work that you're doing on Capitol Hill, and we stand with you.
Thank you so much.